Cruisin Lindbergh is a popular car show that takes place in St. Louis, Missouri. It is a community-driven event that brings together car enthusiasts from around the area to showcase their beautiful cars. The event takes place on the 3-mile strip of Lindbergh and goes from April to October. Visitors of the car show can expect cars of all shapes and sizes. The car show is very community-oriented as they hold many fundraisers and support local businesses. Cruisin Lindbergh is a must-visit event for anyone who loves cars and desires the experience of the St. Louis car culture. Who are you guys and what do you do?
I'll let you start. You got a better answer right away.
I'm Jason with Fairway Automotive. I own a couple auto repair shops. One of them, the one we're in here, we do quite a bit of classic cars, hot rods, some of the newer cool stuff. And I grew up myself cruising Lindbergh.
So my name is Jason LeCavali. I'm actually a real estate guy. I'm not even a car guy. I've been flipping houses for like 20 years. And I got 17 Airbnbs right now in St. Louis, and I do a lot of crazy things. I'm all over the place.
So tell me about your first car or the first car that got you into cars.
Ooh, okay. Man, that's a good one. What was your first car, though?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine was an 86 Monte Carlo that sat for probably a year and a half before I turned 16. Then I turned 16. I was dumb like most high schoolers. I got grounded from it. I got that car back for Christmas when I was 16, and then I got grounded again. I got that same car back for my birthday when I was 17. I got grounded again. I got the same car back for Christmas when I was 17. And then it burned to the ground right in front of my house, and we have no idea why.
Holy cow! That's a good first car story.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. So my uncle gave me a piece 1985.
Cool.
1985 Chevy Chevette. But it was green, hunter green with tan interior. So I used to tell the ladies, yeah, I drive a Vet because it was a Chevette. But to top that off, I ended up selling the car because I didn't like it at all. And there was a 1977 Mustang II, which I'm like, oh, bro, a Mustang. The ugliest car. It's a Pinto with a Mustang badge. It's a disgrace to Mustangs.
Cruisin Lindbergh started back in the 1950s with the Ronnie's Drive-In Theater. After a movie, you and all your pals would drive somewhere to get something to eat. Even when movies weren't showing, Ronnie's and the 3-mile strip up and down Lindbergh were the place to be. It quickly became a social event to drive up and down the area on Friday and Saturday nights, hanging out with friends and meeting new people. Most native St. Louis folk have positive recollections of these times from the 50s all the way up until 2002.
So, why did they squash it in 2002? Well, because,
It was getting out of, Jason behind me said, there were some people that were doing stupid. I had buddies that would race, I'm not going to lie, I'd race on Lindbergh.
Sure, and
coming across the 55 by Denny's, coming from Hooters, my buddy Tom in his Camaro comes across and slides and rolls that car probably 15 times.
Dang.
Things like that, or made them go, it started getting a little out of hand. Now that we're
So you live right there. Lindbergh on a weekend is already busy no matter what day, no matter what time. On the weekend, evening, it's busy. And again, like the cruising thing, there was no social media back in the day. So before 2002 even, there's no such thing as social media. That is your social media.
In 2002, the city of St. Louis implemented a controversial measure known as the No Cruise Ordinance. The aim was to reduce traffic congestion and traffic-related crimes in certain designated areas, but for car enthusiasts, it was a blow to their freedom of expression and a beloved pastime. The No Cruise Ordinance prohibited cruising along certain streets of St. Louis during Friday and Saturday nights. It also prohibited drivers from making more than one pass along a designated stretch of road within a 2-hour period. The city officials argued that it was necessary to address the concerns of residents in those areas, such as excessive noise, littering, and public safety issues. Opponents of the No Cruise Ordinance saw it as an attack on their culture and a violation on their rights. They argued that cruising was a harmless activity that had been a part of the community for 50-plus years. They also pointed out that the ordinance unfairly targeted a specific group of people, namely car enthusiasts, and that it violated their freedom of rights. What has been your best memory from the older Cruisin Lindbergh?
Well, I have a lot of best memories from the older Cruisin Lindbergh. So I remember being a small child, and my grandparents would go up there to get us food, right, whatever we were eating that day. And then you would see all the cars drag racing and racing around. And when you're little, that's awesome. Then you get into that teenage year where you're like, oh my God, they're going to see me in this car with my grandparents. And that's not cool. And then you become the teenager. And it's always been really fun to like stop in parking lots back in the day and have the police come and kick you out and you have to run away. And I became really good friends with a couple of those police officers because we did this every weekend.
So what has been your best memory from the modern Cruisin Lindbergh?
So there's I don't want to call him a kid. Greg's what, early 20s?
Yeah.
Early 20s, that stands on the side of the road, loves Hot Wheels, super into Hot Wheels, super awesome collection of Hot Wheels. And he stands out by the Burger King with his mom, Amy, and we kind of started a thing where people bring Hot Wheels, pull over to the side, give them to Greg, and he got at least hundreds last time.
Yeah.
Seeing Greg wave to everybody and smile, I think, is probably my favorite part of Cruisin Lindbergh.
So for me, like doing the car show at Lindbergh High School, so that parking lot, like that school is going to be torn down. It's going to look totally different. So to be able to do it one more time, to have another get together, and we did it twice over there, which was great. Just to have the community involvement, like the police came, or their, the official musicians for the South County Police. They played at the and then had the band playing there. It was like such a community event. Like cool. For me, that felt so good, and it's hard to like make that happen. To have people really like, again, the vibe, like have a good vibe, everybody getting along, and people come, the Ford guys and the Chevy guys getting together.
With such positive events like this, it has been a great way to bring the community together, all under one cause. What inspires you to bring back Cruisin Lindbergh?
Man, that's a good question. So imagine, take yourself back to like COVID lockdowns. We're all gonna die. The world's over. Remember that? Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to be like, I'm sitting at home. I'm a social guy, and there's nothing to do. And I got 4 kids. I love my kids, but Lord have mercy, I had no outlet. So I'm talking to a buddy of mine. We used to cruise, and so they were doing birthday parades. That was a thing you could do. I saw a bunch of people doing it, and I said, you know what? And this is April, like mid-April. I put the event out there like 2 weeks later after we had this conversation, just to see what. I invited all my old car buddies. I was in car clubs and stuff. And then I invited a bunch of friends from high school and just people that I knew. I had about 200-300 people I invited. And I'm thinking, oh man, if a few people show up, it'd just be great to be able to drive up and down the street, windows down, radio up, have some fun. But that night, thousands of people came. And Cruisin Lindbergh's a thing now, right? But that night was magical, like Back to the Future kind of thing. Like everybody got to be 20 years younger or more that night. And I mean, the helicopters, and I mean, the cops didn't know what to do, and there's thousands of people. It was so because of that. I mean, there maybe was 1,000 people in the group because we were talking about it, and now there's 18,000 people in the group because. And again, it's not like it's me. It's like I'm holding the torch for a thing that's been around for 70 years in our culture. I mean, it's part of our city. It's part of we all grew up doing it. Even if you didn't, you know about it. And so, yeah, like COVID lockdowns is how it all. Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty insane.
I had no intention. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a car guy. I don't have an incentive to do this. Besides, I grew up doing it. My son's 13, and I'm like, man, when he's 16, I want him to be able to cruise Lindbergh like I did.
So what is some of the biggest challenges you faced while organizing these shows?
Police. No. We are on your side. We are on the same team. We promise. We will help with the guys that want to be stupid and do the burnouts. Yes. We will take care of those. We will self-police. Just let us have a little fun.
Like, there's going to be a rebel side to the car world, but most of us are, again, we're older, we're more conservative. We're not trying to, and we want to get together, at least for this night, in a nice, calm way. If somebody's not acting right, like, get them out. So, for me, the biggest challenge is, like, the police, but you got the fire, you got the county, they're all doing their job. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're all saying, hey, we got to be careful. We got to. And so I always try to put that out there to the group. Again, you can't control everybody. And then there's going to be that knucklehead that just, I mean, there's a lot of cool, fast cars and you just got to show off. I get it, bro. But then that's the night you got to get arrested or you got to get a ticket. I mean, you got to follow the rules. And again, most of my events are like 6 to 9. So it's 3 hours. You got to behave for 3 hours,
Exactly.
Or if you're going to go do something, like, go over there.
Go somewhere else. But the police have actually been really cool. They don't mess with anybody unless you're doing something stupid, and then they should. That's what we want them to do.
Although there have been some problems with the police with past cruises, they have been all resolved by adding changes to the cruising route and making sure there is no loitering in the Ronnie's and Hooters parking lots. What do you see for the future of these car shows, and how do you plan to what are your plans for the years to come?
Gotcha.
I have a little for this. So they were kind of two separate things. We do our anniversary party and car show. Jason does Cruisin Lindbergh. We brought them both together for April 29th, and the proceeds are going to benefit the Thompson Foundation. The Thompson Foundation is based out of Mizzou. They do research and development for autism and neurodevelopment disorders. That's where we kind of want to take some of it, is giving back. What are the local charities? What are charities we can help out with? Who's in the car community that's close to home that we can help? We like giving back a lot. We know it comes around.
Yeah.
So we like to have fun. We like to give back. I think that's what I see for part of the future.
But like for the future, I think Cruisin Lindbergh is going to be. I want it to like never die. Does that make sense? So it doesn't. It's not a business per se, but like it needs to live on. So like I made the little logo, and I always joke. I'm like, I tried to make it represent, like a little throwback and but a little loud and a little, whatever. And so I have different logos, and each year I'm gonna try to have a new logo and just kind of. It's like it's a brand, but it's like a history. So it's a weird blend between the two things.
More of a brand than a business.
Cruisin Lindbergh has had a very rich history in the St. Louis car culture. It has been about bringing together both younger and older generations around a common interest in cars. As Jason said, it's about bringing the Ford and Chevy guys together.